Going on, everybody? Welcome to Be Like Podcast, aka Warriors Waves. Today, I have a special guest. Once again, part two with Marissa Fowler. How we doing, baby girl?
I'm good.
Sorry, I called you baby girl. I'm so used to calling you baby girl.
It's okay. You can let everyone in on it a little bit.
Right. You look beautiful today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You've been shining lately, baby.
Mm.
How's everything been ever since last time we had this conversation? Tell everybody how you been, because I've been seeing you every day, but
Yeah.
our
Been good.
listeners.
Yeah, been good. Life has definitely been going busy, but in the most productive way.
Yeah.
Definitely continuing to grow in His kingdom and busy with family. We're excited for the big day next week for our little sister getting married.
Ooh, your little sister is getting
She
married.
is. She is.
Wow, a baby sister, huh?
Yep. All grown up.
How does that feel?
It feels amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Excited, ready for the big day.
absolutely. That's a big day.
Yeah.
you know Before we begin now, I would like for you to open us with a prayer. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
All right, awesome. Guys, welcome to join us in this amazing prayer. um we're never tired to pray, we're never weary to pray. So, ready?
Yep. Father God, thank you for bringing us together in this moment, Lord. We just ask that your light will shine through us with the words spoken, God, that whatever ears this may come across, that it will go on fertile ground, that we are able to bless those with our words and our testimony to honor and glorify you, Lord, in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
Beautiful prayer, baby girl. I keep saying baby girl. I'm so used to that. It's getting closer to Valentine's Day,
It is.
so it's just it's love season now, huh?
It is.
So I'm kind of feeling you a little bit extra hot today. um, so yeah, going into this season, this is first time I've ever had a Valentine,
Aw.
in forever. I've always been just the guy who I wasn't really into dating. I was always about just
The grind.
the grind.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can forget that there's certain there's certain places in your life you should also work on,
Yeah.
which is finding more love with yourself,
Yeah.
finding more love with other people as well.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I was lacking when I was single.
Yeah.
And you especially when you need it the most.
Yeah.
Like, we all need love.
Yeah. I do.
We all need love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But some of us are scared of it. Some of us run away. So yeah, it's the love season, and I can't think how I used to think when I was single.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is here, is coming up, and it's silly, but truly it's when we focus on love.
Yeah.
And we know that in the Bible it talks about the Bible talks about love a lot,
Does.
and so I want you to share with everyone about your time when you were single. How was that time, and how did transitioning to a relationship help you prepare for just whatever that will come with?
Yeah.
Because you shared one time that before you got with me, you know what I mean? You were also a grinder. You were a hustler.
Yeah.
You still are, but this time it's not about you.
Yeah.
So I want you to share with everybody about that, like the time you were single, and and how transitioning into a relationship helped you as a person, helped your growth.
Well, I definitely enjoyed my solitude time being single. I think that was probably something I found probably too much comfort in is being alone. Although I wasn't alone, I had, family, friends, ministry, job, a lot of things that would occupy me. But in between all of that was my solitude time. And I fell very deep into that. And my solitude time wasn't just for me, it was my time that I also spent with God. So it really helped me to find that time to recharge and rebuild my strength and my energy, because when you're in all these environments, you're pouring out, you're pouring out. And when you are able to find that solitude time, it's your time where you recharge, where you make sure that your cup is getting filled. So when you go out, you're able to give from a full cup.
Wow. Now remember, we can't pour into others if we can't pour into ourselves.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Yeah. And I think one thing that, in our relationship is we respect the solitude time of ourselves individually. Although we know that it may look different and it's not as much and as often, we still respect that solitude time to give to each other. And that only makes us better for each other, for our family, for our ministries, for the things that we do, because first and foremost, before this relationship, is our relationship with God.
Right. Talk about that. Because when we were with ourselves, it was about self love.
Yeah.
My solitude time means I'm gonna go out there work my butt off. But then when I get to my house, when I get to my bed, I don't want nobody else's. You know what I mean? So sometimes that can be addicting to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That solitude time.
It can become a crutch. It can be something that you may look forward to a bit much. And I would say, like, in my solitude time, I found it being more my relaxing time, my time where my social battery was being recharged. But when you're in a relationship, your solitude time looks different because it's forcing you to self-reflect a little bit more.
Wow.
And I think that's one of the biggest things is, there is comfortableness in being alone, but there's also greatness when you're with somebody who can bring out the best in you and help you self-reflect. And now my solitude time, it looks different. It's more of the self-reflection rather than just being comfortable and finding things that take zero energy.
Right.
But now my solitude time is, okay, how am I showing up in my life? How am I spending my time? How am I filling into my cup? Because every moment matters.
Every moment matters. I want to also talk about temptation when you were single versus when you're in a relationship. I feel like when you're single, temptation has a big hold on you as an individual. I mean, for me, temptation was so hard when I was single. Yes, I tried my best to be disciplined. To be disciplined in certain worldly things. However, I will fall short sometimes because I didn't have that guidance and that support of being with somebody else. So when you were single, how was temptation onto the worldly things hard on you, or was it when you absolutely harness the resilience in not really feeling tempted to do something that is not healthy for you?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think as women, it's different, right? As a woman,
Correct.
It's different. So when it came to temptation, being single, like, I knew that I had a goal. I knew that I had something in mind, and whether that be like a diet, right? And not eating certain foods and restricting myself. Temptation, wasn't necessarily at the forefront because I was focused on a goal. I was focused on getting healthy. I was focused on something. But then when you're trying to diet and you're in a relationship, that temptation is different. It's more pressing because, your partner wants to eat something different. And
right.
You don't want to miss out on connecting with them over a special meal or going to a special place. So I think as a woman, temptation is more in a relationship rather than being outside of one. Because when I was by myself, it was just me. I could just grind it out and just focus on myself. Or
Wow.
if I go out with my friends, they're understanding and they're not going to
Correct.
be like, oh, let's tempt. They're going to support that. But when you're in a relationship, it's different because you do spend more time together. You do have
Yeah.
more of these moments that present themselves.
Yeah.
That does require some more discipline and mental stability.
Wow. For me, it's different.
Yeah.
For me as a man, it's different. For me, when I was single, my goal was to be the best that I can, to be able to harness this, you know, uh, this self improvement,
Yeah.
make sure that I'm the best that I can be, which was, I need to make sure my body is right. I need to make sure my mind is stronger. And I need to make sure that I know where I want to get. However, it's there's a lot of temptation out there.
Yeah.
Temptation in, eating out, temptation in just buying unnecessary things,
Yeah.
even temptation with getting with people, you know, like you get tempted to just, let's say like sleep with everybody, like, you know what I mean? But if you are a man of God and you're trying to be a man of God, when you're single, that, it becomes a goal for you not to be tempted to do that.
Yeah.
However, when now I'm in a relationship, I don't have the desire to go buy things. I don't have the desire to go out. I don't have the desire for all these worldly things that could consume me.
Yeah.
But being with you made me stay content
Yeah. Yeah.
in where I'm going.
Yeah.
It made me focus a little bit more on my future. And even after this accident, I remember we talked about my accident and how we met.
Yeah.
Even though, if I was single through this time, goodness gracious, I don't know where I will be.
Yeah.
I don't know the kind of man I will be. Would I be the same man, or would I be, who knows?
Wow.
Because a journey after that, after my accident, was to transition into this new person.
Yeah.
A new person with somebody.
Yeah.
We talked about something yesterday, and it was two is better than one.
Yeah.
However, some people may not see that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Some people may see that like, oh, just because I'm with this person, my freedom has been limited. Freedom has been limited. For me, it's when I actually found freedom, because I can come home and, you're the kind of girlfriend that cooks a bomb meal. So I look forward to coming home, you know what I mean? And seeing you, and that drives me, that leads me to have a very focused path, focus on the path that God has for me.
Yeah. I think when somebody may not understand how there's more freedom with being with somebody is because maybe they haven't had the relationship where they have found freedom.
Wow.
Or they don't know that. So they just think that's the standard for everybody.
Wow.
It's like saying that there's no freedom in God, right? You can't just always feel dependent on yourself. When you can learn to trust and let your walls down and depend on somebody, there is freedom in that. The freedom is that you know that you're not alone. The freedom is that you know that you have somebody there supporting you. You have somebody there to be there for you, to help you drive and become a better person. And although individuals may think like, this is your time where you should focus on yourself. Well, you did have that time to focus on yourself. And as did I, but God had other plans. And we continue to submit our desires to Him to make sure that we are following His path. And as we continue to grow, the freedom expands because we are finding what we are doing to reveal God's plan. And it creates excitement, it creates drive, it creates purpose, something that's bigger than ourselves. Something that my dad's always taught me is find pleasure in your purpose, not purpose in your pleasure.
Find pleasure in your purpose. not purpose
in your
in your
partnership.
pleasure.
Yes.
Wow. Well said. So, how would you define freedom in being by yourself and being with a partner?
Freedom by yourself is that you can do whatever you want with your time. Your schedule, you can decide, yeah, I'm free. You know your plans, you know what you're doing. There's a freedom in that. But the freedom can only go so far. I mean, you have freedom in God, but when you are with a partner and you find the right freedom, when you find peace, and that peace should translate with whether you're by yourself or when you're with somebody. And if you can't find peace within yourself, you're not going to find peace in a relationship. That freedom should be able to translate in either situations. And if it doesn't, then there's something that is off path or offline that God is calling us back to.
Right. Being in a relationship is tough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why a lot of people are afraid of relationships because they believe that they won't find freedom
Yeah.
with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't want to be locked up with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they miss the whole thing. Freedom is being able to have God in your relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, what we misunderstand is that when we by ourselves, we don't have a lot of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because yes, we can get lost. Now, losing yourself is not freedom.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you by yourself, yes, you think you're going to the right path.
Yeah.
Yes, you think
Yeah.
you know you you have everything you need.
Yeah.
Yes, you think you settled and you don't need nobody.
Right.
That's not freedom.
Right.
Freedom is being able to feel secured
Mm-hmm.
with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, your peace is secured
Mm-hmm.
with someone.
Yeah.
Your peace, knowing that my eyes are looking forward now.
Yeah.
That's freedom.
Yeah.
My eyes are looking forward to my goal.
Yeah.
My eyes are not wandering.
Mm-hmm.
That's loss.
Mm-hmm.
When you by yourself, it's easy to lose yourself
Mm-hmm.
into things that truly do not matter.
Yeah.
But when you're with someone who you worked really hard to
Mm-hmm.
connect with,
Yeah.
you stood through it
Mm-hmm.
in the battles that you fought.
Yeah.
Through those battles that you fight, it's like a storm you go through together.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to keep stepping
Yeah.
even when the desert storm comes blowing at you?
Yeah.
Are you able to stand strong
Yeah.
together when those storms come?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're able to figure out how you can stand together when the storm comes,
Yeah.
you will stand stronger with freedom and
Yeah.
peace
Yeah.
when the storms pass.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's such a great concept and an explanation because as you were explaining that, my mind was automatically thinking how being in a relationship and not just thinking about yourself has translated into other areas of my life. In the previous episode, I talked about how I was a leader in my community, in my family,
Yes.
and in my ministry. But, I also was served in those areas alone. But learning how to work with somebody in a relationship has taught me to work with others in these different areas, right? How I can partner with my family more, how I can partner
Wow.
with people in my ministry more, how I can partner with people at my job more. in my community more. It doesn't
Wow.
necessarily limit me to have that independent mindset that I need to do everything alone. It's now learning that when you can lean on somebody, when you do have a trustworthy partner next to you, that you really can tackle more together than you can
That's
alone.
right. Wow, that's so beautifully said. Because the fact that you say partner,
Mm-hmm.
partnership,
Yeah.
not technically partner with me,
Mm-hmm.
but partnering, also partnering with your parents,
Yes.
partnering with your siblings,
Yeah.
partnering with people at work.
Mm-hmm.
It's about that partnership.
Yeah.
Now, other people misunderstand that.
Mm-hmm.
They what they see is a crutch to lean on.
Right.
Now, if if you in a relationship to be to use the other person as a crutch,
Mm-hmm.
I'm promising you that that relationship will not work.
Right, because there's not freedom in that. There's not peace in that because you're not able to function as the individual and come together stronger. You are now carrying the load of somebody else. But when you both can carry your load, when you both can find that independence, but also know how to work together and come together, it's a beautiful thing. It's a true partnership. There's strength in that.
There's strength in that. So, what would you give our audience today? What are three things you would give our audience today to know for them to find partnership
Mm-hmm.
instead of a crutch?
Mm-hmm. Always put God first. Find who you are in God. Know who you are in Him. Because when you know who you are in Him, you can hold that true to anything else that you do in life. Second, never lose who you are.
Mm,
Don't allow somebody's world to overtake yours. Yes, there's two worlds coexisting, but they can still come together.
absolutely.
Stay true to your dreams, to your values, to your motivations, because the right person will support that. The right person will complement all of those things. And three, act in love.
Mm,
Make sure what you're doing is out of love and not because you have to. Like you told me the other day, no, you don't have to do this. And then I told you, no, you're right, I don't have to. I get to do this.
wow.
And it's operating out of that place of love because the moment you don't, then you're not coming from your heart. It's just a transaction, it's just a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it can get scary.
Wow. So number one, find who you are in love,
In God.
in God.
Yes.
My,
Like God is love, so yeah.
I guess that works too.
Yeah.
Number two,
Stay true to who you are.
so you can find, because once you find who you are in God,
Mm-hmm.
it'll help you stay true to who you are.
Yeah. Yep.
And number three,
Act in love.
act in love.
Yes. Because we know love sees, love hears, love serves.
Wow. Look at that. Act in love. And we all know how that feels like.
Yeah. You do. You do. Whether you know it or not, you know when you're interacting with somebody who is coming from a place of love
Love, yeah.
or a place of fear or a place of just being transactional.
Wow. That's so crazy. That's well said.
Mm-hmm.
So it leads me to I wrote a blog called Journey to Finding Love,
Mm.
right? And songwriters, musicians, people, and poets have talked about and sung about love,
Yeah.
right?
It's a universal language.
It's a universal language. But what about those people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those are kind of people who really sing about finding love,
Yeah.
you know? But to me, love is simple, but yet tough. I wrote that there.
Mm-hmm.
Love is different. Love is oneness.
Mm-hmm.
Love is God.
Mm-hmm.
I am love.
Mm-hmm.
But is love enough?
Mm.
What is love? And will I ever find love? I
Mm.
wrote this blog before I met you.
Oh. Now, do you look at this blog differently?
I do.
Do you feel like the words you spoke to yourself are now the words coming back to you?
Absolutely. I'm not going to lie to you. When I wrote this blog, I truly was feeling like this huge emptiness in my heart. And
Mm.
I was like, there's this love, man, that I want, but I haven't found yet. Is it too perfect to find?
Mm.
I know that love is simple,
Yeah.
but it's still tough to find.
Yeah.
I know that love is different because I'm different.
Yeah.
I'm a different individual.
Yeah.
How can I find my person?
Yeah.
A person who understands me,
Yeah.
a person who understands my differences,
Yeah.
you know? And how can I find someone who I can be one with
Mm.
when I hold you, baby? When I hold you, I'm not really lying right now. Like when I hold you, I want to feel oneness.
Yeah.
You know when you hug somebody and you just feel like no, this person is like just, you know, it's it just there's some missing here.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partner, right? That can be just a
A
friend or
friend.
somebody you exchange with, right? That you
Yes.
just kind of give a hug and you can feel
You,
that kind
you
of resistance.
resistant.
Yeah.
Like they're closed off.
Yeah.
But but I understand that love is oneness.
Yeah.
When you hug somebody
Mm-hmm.
and you know that they're comfortable with you,
Mm-hmm.
or not even comfortable, not even comfort, just a sense of peace between two individuals coming together.
It's like a puzzle piece, right?
It's like a puzzle piece.
Or a Lego set.
Yeah,
Two pieces that fit perfectly together.
that's right. But when I hug you, I feel this lightness.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like a feather.
Mm-hmm.
I feel one.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I was, that's what I was looking for. Love is oneness.
Yeah.
How can I find this? When I was writing this blog, I was
Yeah.
picturing that.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
And love is God.
Mm-hmm.
I can't on the blog I highlighted that.
Yeah.
I wanted to find God in our relationship.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were building this relationship,
Yeah.
because it's a build.
Yeah.
Some people believe in love at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I don't believe in love at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like love is built.
Mm-hmm.
We were born with love,
Mm-hmm.
but due to certain challenges we face in life, due to certain beatings we get, certain storms, I'm not going to lie to you. Love can be hidden somewhere. And it's something that maybe you have to build and not find.
Yeah, it's like an onion. You peel back the layers.
You peel back the layers to get to that nice root
Mm-hmm.
of the, you know what I mean? So it's, and I had to understand that I'm love.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, you represent that very well. And you lead with love. For me, I'm a male. I'm a, like, it's my alpha male. It's like, for me, I don't, we straight to business.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for you, you just simply, hi, your love aura just always shining. That's different.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely a very strong man, but it did take some work to let your walls come down. And I had to lead with love, or those walls wouldn't come down.
That's right. You had to continue to live with love.
Right. And it wasn't that a mission like, I'm going to get his walls down. It was just that, I'm going to continue to show love, God's love. And whatever his purpose and his plan will reveal itself.
Wow.
And that's what happens when you lead with love, because whatever is meant to be will be.
Yeah.
And although that sounds cliche, God will truly align you in paths you're supposed to be or remove you if that's not where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I'm a true believer in whatever is meant to be, it'll absolutely be.
Yeah.
No matter if, you know, when we're trying to control things, that's when we don't find peace at all. That's when we lose ourselves. That's when we remain lost because we're relying on our own understanding of other people and the relationship in the past relationships you know. But when you know God is love, you lead with love.
Yeah.
What was that quote, baby? What was that quote? Not quote. That's scripture you said.
The greatest of these is love.
Yeah.
In Corinthians, yep. And we learned about that on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, faith, hope, peace, but the greatest of these is love.
It's love. Many people think that love is weakness. Do you agree with that?
Love can be weakness if you use it as a crutch. Love can be weakness when you let somebody control you with threatening love and taking it away. It can be weakness. Now, love doesn't necessarily make you weak because we know Jesus led with love and he was the strongest man that walked this earth.
Yep.
But he knew who he was. So he was able to lead and love. But if you don't have a strong foundation, then love is something that somebody can use against you. And that can make you weak.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Well said. So how do we make love our strength?
Love our strength is by applying the 3 steps. Find who you are in God. Because when you can find who you are in God, you find healing, you find purpose, you find passion. You find that you are living for something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're radiating love, you're acting in love. You don't even have to tell yourself. It just begins to happen.
Wow. Beautifully said. You know, so is love enough?
Love. What greater love than a man to lay down his life for a friend? Of course. Love is enough.
Love is enough. If you know how to treat it right.
Yeah.
If you know how to grow in love. Because when, like you say, when you allow love to be your crutch, it'll fade away.
Yeah. And it's just like a relationship with God, right? We grow in love with God every day. Our love for God grows. His love for us doesn't because he's perfect.
Yeah.
But every day we grow in love with God.
And as we grow in love with God, we grow in love with our partners, our parents, even the ones that wronged us once. And we understand that it's not really them that wronged us. It's the situation.
Right. And when somebody isn't surrounded by love, they may not understand what that looks like. They may look at somebody and be like, you're strange, you're weird. And being able to label somebody or something those things, that means that there's an emptiness of love that's not happening. Because if you are full of love, you can look at someone and be like, wow, look at that situation. It doesn't look like mine, but that's a unique and beautiful situation for them.
Wow.
And just because everyone's situation doesn't look the same or somebody next to you may look different, that doesn't mean that there's not love. But when you are founded on that, you're able to recognize and see that and see the love and things that look different because we are uniquely and beautifully made.
Absolutely. We're uniquely and beautifully made. Wow. Baby, you're killing it. I hope some people are taking notes on this. Let me be honest with you. Like I never truly felt a certain kind of love, like a true love, until I was able to know that I'm putting God first in a relationship. Our relationship is thriving on God. Knowing that that was what I was missing in my past relationships led me to knowing that that's why there are past relationships. But when I fully found that person who I was able to focus on God even more, it let my cup of love filled. You know? So I like to thank God. I like to thank God for that. Because sitting in the hospital, right? When we talked about the accident, when I was sitting in the hospital, like I was crying, oh my goodness, I almost died without finding love. No. Oh my goodness, like, are you kidding me right now? Like, and I'm out there with two broken legs. I'm like, will I ever find love?
And God said, little do you know.
Little do you know. But then I was out there and the nurse was like, you will find somebody who understands you, who went through similar situations that you went through, who went through certain storms that made them stronger. Because Jeff, after getting to know you, you went through some crazy stuff, man. You hard headed.
Just a little bit.
I am hard headed.
That's all right. That's your strength.
But I remained disciplined in knowing that I'm not going to settle until I find somebody who fits like that puzzle, that missing puzzle in my life. I won't accomplish my dreams, of course, without finding that somebody who looks at me and says, I believe in you. You can do it. I value that as a man. And I'm pretty sure other men out there also values that when their partner can see their potential. But it's about seeing your partner's potential and being able to ride with them even through the storms. You know how hard it is to find that, baby? It's very tough. You can spend years. But when you truly surrender and give it to God, He is able to send you exactly what you've always wanted. Am I lying?
No. Definitely God-centered, and all these things are not things you shared with me as requirements or this is what I'm looking for it to work, right? You didn't share those things till later on, and you shared one of the ways you connected with me was because you felt that through our conversations and our interactions and our time together that you were beginning to find yourself drawing closer to God. And that was something that opened your eyes, and that was something that let your walls come down because that was something you were missing. And I didn't know that.
Wow.
I was just coming to be who I was. But, it definitely took also a godly man for us to meet each other, and I do appreciate my dad having that obedient ear to know that there is a godly divine interaction looking to be made.
Wow. It's like, how did he know that? You don't, I'm not gonna lie to you, you don't meet a father who wants to introduce somebody to his daughter. That's like back in the day. People used to do that back in the day. But knowing where you were at in life and knowing where I was at in life, I don't know what clicked in him saying that I need my daughter to meet this man. Look, I was in a bad condition. I truly respect that. I feel like it's truly an honor. It's honorable that way. Knowing that love can be pursued.
And he didn't say it in a way of like expecting what we have today.
Correct.
He just said it in a way of, hey, there's something I see spiritually that is similar in her and in him. They both have this strength. And he just simply said, a prayer. And I kind of joked and I was like, are my prayers that strong? But there's just spiritual connections that you can't deny.
Yeah.
And it was a familiar spirit that he felt in you.
Wow. Familiar spirit.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, nobody really notices that with me, you know. And I've always kept my strength to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, I will walk and people will say, "How is this guy smiling?
Mm-hmm.
What does he have in his life that he just keeps smiling?" You know, I didn't have much.
Yeah.
You know, still don't have much, but I have everything in God.
Yes.
I knew that He protected me.
Oh.
You know, and I knew that if I maintain that, everything else will fall
Absolutely.
into the right place.
Absolutely.
Wow. So I get another question for you.
Okay.
I saw on my on my blog,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote about the difference between liking
Mm.
and love.
Mm.
How would you describe liking and loving with somebody?
Mm. Wow. Liking, I would, there definitely has to be a like and love, right? There has to be some kind of physical attraction,
Right.
and that's the like. But the love is beyond that. I think that if you just stop at the liking of somebody, then that's just like a very lustful situation. Liking is just when you connect based on the physical. But when you are able to love somebody, you love somebody enough to know it is beyond that. It's beyond what I'm just seeing with my eye.
Wow.
It's beyond just the physical connection. And there's something so much deeper.
Yeah.
And that to me is the difference between liking and loving. And you love somebody enough to hold a standard, to be disciplined, to grow. Liking stops at a certain place. You can only reach so far, and it will not help you grow. Although there are lessons learned in just liking somebody,
Right.
that's emptiness. There's dead roads there.
So do you think people get stuck in the liking stage of being with somebody? That do you think they do?
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes people become comfortable in liking because it does require you to let your walls down when you want to love somebody. Liking, you don't have to reach within certain depths of yourself. You can keep the relationship really surface. And some people, they don't want to challenge themselves to go beyond liking. They will just keep it at a liking level. But when you tear down those walls, when you become vulnerable, that's when you can start entering into the stages of love.
And becoming vulnerable, it takes hard work.
It takes hard work. But sometimes people don't want to put it in. And, and that may work for somebody as they were great without the liking place, but, that wasn't for us.
Yeah.
And to live out our greater purpose of what God has for us, we do have to operate in love. Because there's one thing about you and I we have in common is if we're not operating out of love, we're not operating in the best versions of ourselves.
And that's very obvious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hide who I am with you.
Yeah.
Since the beginning. All right, you're coming in my life. You're going to see me like you already did with my wounds, my flesh.
Yeah.
But you're also going to see my spirit. You're also going to see who I am.
Yeah.
And so we have to truly be the love that we want to give.
Yeah.
To be able to have freedom and peace.
Yep.
Because when you're with somebody just because you like them and you can't reach to the level where you can love them, then why are you with that person? And if you're in the worldly and you rely your flesh to take over, you will never reach that love.
Right.
You only love what they do to you. Like it's easy to, let's go deeper. It's easy for people to get addicted to the sex. Okay? And when they do, they use that as, oh, yeah, we do this, yeah, we do this, but I don't like this. I don't love this person. It just, I like the sex. I like, where they take me. I like all these things, but I don't think I will love them. Then what are you doing? You're just wasting your life away.
Right. And that's where, you can impact your relationship with God, because you're coming from a place of
Right.
lust, and you're putting your physical needs above your spiritual discipline, right?
Yeah.
And the world does show that that's okay to conform our standards. It's promoted in TV, it's promoted on social media, it's promoted, in everyday life, that's okay. But when you begin to find yourself in God and your relationship, you know that that's not the way we were created to live.
Wow.
Although that's something created by God, that's not something we were designed to do.
Yeah.
And when you're able to teach yourself and discipline, you realize the further you get from that, the more you realize what the impact it had on you.
Yeah.
And the negative impact it can have on you. And being an example and showing what it is to operate in love, knowing that, there's something different about that relationship. What is it? It's the discipline.
It's discipline.
It's the putting love first, because if you truly love somebody, you're not going to let them conform their standards.
Ooh, that's right. That is so deep. If you truly love somebody, it's just because we all have standards.
Mm-hmm.
We all have standards, and sometimes those standards are too high. Sometimes those standards are too high that we don't allow ourselves to love unconditionally, to love with godly love.
Mm-hmm. That's why your standards have to be based in God, right? And that was something that I shared with you that I struggled with in past relationships, where I always felt that my standards were too high, but it's just because the right person didn't understand my standards, or meet that, or want to.
Yeah.
And when you have standards that are set in God, and your standards are based on your relationship with God and how they will impact that, the right person will understand that.
So it's okay to have standards. Just set standards based on God.
Absolutely. Make sure that those standards are a reflection of your relationship with God, because that's where it should be rooted and held from.
Yeah.
Standards can be made off of personal desires. Standards can be based off of worldly needs.
Yeah.
But if we make standards based on God, the right person will understand why you're setting that.
That's deep. Baby, you're so wise. So on my blog, I also mentioned Zeke Rabin. You should search him up, guys. Zeke Rabin did a little study. Liking versus love.
Okay.
He said love is made up of 3 elements: attachment, caring, and intimacy.
Okay.
Attachment is the need to receive care, approval, and physical contact with another person. Caring involves valuing the other person's needs and happiness as much as your own. And intimacy involves the sharing of thoughts, desires, and feelings with another person. What do you think about that?
I think that's great. I think that there's definitely elements to love. And what was the first one again?
The first one was attachment.
Attachment. I think that that's a scary word, right? Because attachment can be like what we talked about as a crutch. But then, attachment can also be a familiar resource, right? Like attachment in, I attach to this brand of water because I know it gives me what I need. It's good quality. So this is, I'm attached to this because I know it has good quality. When you become attached to a person in the right way because you know that that's your person, you know that they help you with pushing yourself and it's a safe place, that can be a healthy way of an attachment with love. And then the next one was
caring.
Caring. Absolutely. I know you personally, like if I'm struggling or having a bad day, like you don't go on your day like enjoying it. If you do, you will stop and know that if you aren't having a good day, then it's impacting me. And what can we do to work together to make this day better?
Absolutely.
And that is definitely a reflection of love because you're not putting somebody above yourself.
Right. You're not putting somebody above yourself.
It's just like a parent. If a child is having a bad day, it's going to impact their day.
Absolutely.
Because they're caring for them and they love them. And when their child is thriving and having a good day, it also helps with their mood. And intimacy, I love how he explained that more than physical because people often look at intimacy as just the physical. Wow. But intimacy is so much more beyond that. It's the mental, it's the emotional, it's the spiritual intimacy that you can have with somebody. You don't need the physical to have intimacy.
Wow.
You don't. You should have all of these things before you even do that.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie, listening to you makes my heart jump a little bit. You're so wise in love. You helped me. You helped me grow in love. And I think he hit it on the nail. It's a study that is true. But even though love is made up on attachment, I think attachment, it's he says that it's the need to receive care, the need, and approval. Being that's very true in most areas, and physical contact with another person. Yes, it's honestly for me to even feel that lightness in you, we have to be able to feel that physical contact to where we are at peace with each other. But then when we let go and we go in our separate ways, we don't have to have like a very strong attachment that gets out of hand. So caring is the biggest form of love. When you care for another person, when you care about their happiness, that's love. And intimacy, you said it so best there. You said it really well. So it's check out his study. It's Zig Robbins, guys. It's attachment, caring, and intimacy. But most importantly, he missed one thing: love. The first element in love can be God.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, God. I want to read this blog. This kind of a poem, a short little poem that I wrote on my blog of Journey to Finding Love. Okay. It says, "Time is too slow for those who wait, too swift for those who fear, too long for those who grieve, too short for those who rejoice, but for those who love, time is eternity.
It's beautiful.
What does that mean?
That means that all those things are going to pass away one day, right? When we're in heaven. But love is eternity. Love is
Yeah.
going to be in heaven. All those other things won't belong because those are all things of this world.
Yeah.
But love is heavenly. Love
Yes.
is spiritual.
Absolutely. We always have a smile on our face when we feel in love.
Yeah.
We always be in this place of eternity when we feel love.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people, before they cross over, before they pass,
Yeah.
all they want is love.
Yeah.
You're sitting on a hospital bed, all you want is love.
Yeah.
And when you don't have it, will your spirit ever reach eternity? That's very tough to say that no. That's why people say there's ghosts, because they're just searching to find out love on earth. I don't know what I'm saying because I haven't died yet, but it makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah. And love can change over time. Yeah. Well, and it always grows.
Yeah, love grows, and that's why it changes, because it grows.
Because it grows. Love is the only thing that grows and that provides freedom. Yeah. To, because fear also grows. Fear also grows. Yeah. But when the fear continues to grow, your time on earth is very limited.
Right, because love and fear can't coexist. So if fear is growing, then love is not.
Wow. See, and that's what we need to understand. So I appreciate you for coming down here and just want to do this podcast with me about love. Yeah. I know that, love is something that people hide. You know what I mean? Yeah. We see couples everywhere. Yeah. We see people kissing at the airport. And like, goodness, people go out on dates. Like, love is among us. Mm-hmm. It's so visible. Yeah. But why can't we talk about love, right?
Right, because it makes you vulnerable. It makes you like, how dare you feel in love? But it's a beautiful thing. It's
a very beautiful thing to talk about. And I'm just privileged enough to know that I have so much peace talking about it now. Yeah. It's not something that holds my heart to talk about. Yeah. I talk about it because if I know if I am love, I'm able to be it no matter where, no matter what happens. Mm-hmm. I'm able to break storms. I'm able to climb a big mountain.
Love conquers all.
Love conquers all. Thank you all for listening to Big Light Podcast with Marissa Fowler. Yeah. I appreciate you coming out, and you talked about your leadership and what you're doing. So tell people what's next for Marissa.
Oh, whatever God has in store. But right now, in our Monarch Women's Ministry, we are moving pretty intensely and pretty heavily, making an impact in our community.
Yes.
Spreading the gospel and the love. So shout out to my girls in Monarch Ministry.
Yay.
They're big supporters of just spreading the gospel, and I'm thankful to have them, and I know that they will be the first ones to view this. So love you girls, and thank you for your support.
Amen to that. Thank you, baby girl. I love you very much, and I'm glad you were able to do part 2 with me.
My pleasure.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy love season. And I'm able to thank God for giving me this opportunity to share this amazing moment with you.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Take it easy, everybody. See you next time.